Okay, I think I am live. Can this be? Yeah. Can you see me now and can you hear me more importantly? I have, I'm live now on Telegraph. Sorry, Telegram. I'm live on YouTube. I should be. And, well, no, wait. I guess I see one people listening. Hucklebuck, hello. And I'll be sure to... Oh, there we go. There's a delay here. That's what's happening. Okay. So we've been live for 44 seconds. Mike, can you hear me? I just want to check. And Trish, Oppdal, Norway, Andriksen. I guess you can all hear me fine also now. Huh? I'm coming through loud and clear on YouTube. All right. And also on Telegram. I'm online and I see a lot of people here are on here now. Karsten, you live in Germany, right? I really wanted this to be a short meet and greet, basically, because I've been doing this channel now for a little bit more, well, 13, 14 months, because my son asked me to. He said, he's 10 years old now, and said, why don't you put up a YouTube channel? Because he really likes YouTube, like most kids, I guess. And I said, well, it's got to be something about Vikings. So now for, I guess, 14 months, I've met so many, only digital. I recognize the names here: Örjan, Karsten, Bruce, Trish, and Gareth, Margot, Yulfa. Hello to you all. And could I ask you, I see some people here now. We are 61. That's pretty good, right? Who's following this now on YouTube, and we got one person on Telegram also. And there are more. It's possible for those of you who would like to follow on the chat room on Telegram. For those of you who can't go by YouTube, it's possible to use that for the audio only, and it's possible to talk in both Telegram, and I have plans to take some of you, if you want, in here for let me show you here. If you'd like to say something, it'd be nice to meet you also. I'll have a rule for that. I think that's very smart. Let's try to keep it to about a minute and then just say hi or anything, so we can have a two-way dialogue with some of you who wishes for. And I've received a lot of questions also. So yeah, I'm happy for that. I see now comments are coming in, and I guess we're part of a clan community here, in a sense. I called it the clan members of Viking Stories. I'm really grateful for all the patrons and people who are supporting me in any way it's happening. It's actually, it has become a little bit necessary, but it's inspirational and it's a good motivation for me to continue making content. And video for Fridays, this coming Friday's video is already made. I made it on Saturday because I woke up in the morning close to the biggest Viking mound in Scandinavia, meaning gravel mound. Does anyone know which one that is? Could I ask that? It's a really, really big, and it's wrong of me to say Viking, by the way, because it's from before the Viking Age. And I've already recorded that video because I walked on top of it, and it's so big. It's just crazy. And it's called Rakni Mound. And there used to be actually 30 grave mounds. And a really important place to worship the ancient gods at this place. It's called Hovin. There's a church there now, of course. But this was on the road from Oslo up north to Trondheim. This is like the first stop. So you go travel like you used to, and you come to this place where 30 mounts and this huge mount. And it's located King Firus. That's a pretty cool nickname there. No, it's not Uppsala, Margot. The largest one is in Norway, and it's from about 552, they found out. And I can tell you, it's not a mount. And that's what the video on Friday is going to be called. The Pyramids of the North. Because, well, you'll see it in the video, but the thing is, they used 70,000 timber logs for this mount. And it's not a mount. You know, they have a ship, they have a burial, a cremation grave, and then they built with 75, I think it is 75,000 timber logs building a pyramid. And then they had made it into a mount. So it's actually pyramids. It's not a hill fort, Ørjan, it's a grave. And that's pretty cool, actually. Let's see here now. I saw there was one person here from Høgum. Is that right? Let me just check here now. Hey, Michael, thanks. I think it's possible to give some donations here. Michael Behrens, thanks. I didn't know that, so that's great. Well, thanks. And I'll take this off now. And I see Garrett. You are living in Uppsala, and that's a pretty cool place. I haven't been there and seen the great mounts there, and I would very much like to go there. So yeah, maybe I can do that and make it into a video or something. That'd be great. And I saw, yes, here we are, GISY. You live in Høgum in Sundsvall, and that's a really, really cool place. It's in the north of Sweden, right? Both in Norway and Sweden. We have a big, not county, it's more like a state within Sweden and Norway, and they're both called Norrland, right? The land in the north. And they used to be connected before the Viking Age. The trade, all these trading goods that I talked about in the videos came down the Norwegian coast, and then instead of going further down where it's so dangerous to sail, where my family is from, they went straight east into Norrland in Sverige, and they came to Høgum, where you live. I don't know your name though, but GISY, and that was one of the richest areas in Scandinavia before the Viking Age. And that's kind of cool. So anyways, I see we have a lot of comments here, and we also have a lot of questions because I've been out with a couple of small, short videos asking for questions, and I'm not sure where to start even, but I'll get a little bit up there now. Gisela, is that your name? Okay. The person in Høgum, that's great, Gisela. Let's see now. Let's see. You really, yeah, I want to help build this channel. Well, thanks a lot for that. Pyramids of the North, isn't that nice? And I'll tell you, Ylfa, since you mentioned this in the comments section here now, I have a question for you, and on all of you watching now, all of you 126, it seems like. Since I've made this video, it's coming on Friday, right? I'll release it a few days earlier for the patrons who are supporting me. So it's from the 6th century, after the Fimbulwinter, the 3-year winter, and even the Ragnarok description, and so many people died, and the plague, the Justinian plague, right? But it's before the Viking Age, and it's huge, right? 75,000 timber logs, making it into sort of like a pyramid, and it's a ship burial. And my question for you is this: do you agree with me that once the ships got bigger, the closer you got to the Viking Age, and especially in the Viking Age, the ships got huge, wouldn't the burial graves, the mounds, also grow, right? Do you think so too? Because then we're talking massive mounds, right? And I think I know where the most famous Viking ship of them all, Ormen Lange, the serpent, the long serpent, which was in a very famous Viking battle between Olav Tryggvason, the Norwegian king, and the king of Sweden and Denmark. And this battle was basically because of women, because Olav Tryggvason, he had, there's a great saying there. I really should write that down. It's the best thing I think any Danish person has said about a Norwegian as a insult. And I'll find it for you. So my question is then, I think the Viking graves grew, and I see some are also here agree with me here now, and I thank you for that. It's we don't know about the ship, where the biggest grave or ship burial mound that I was on, and it's coming on Friday, right? It hasn't been excavated more than just a few channels into the mound. They haven't found that much. And it's so big that the georadars don't penetrate all the way through, because the tree is probably gone, but you find the nails. And so you can see how the ship would look. And then we would know if it's a dragon ship, because I saw there was AI Einstein, not Al Einstein, I guess, asked that question. Yeah. Thanks, Michael Behrens, for your kind words there. And Eirik Myhre, Norwegian guy, thanks for your great support. Well, thanks a lot for supporting. Thanks a lot. And it would be nice. I see John here. I guess you live in Canada or Canadian. It would be nice to hear something on Canadian Vikings and the Lost Clans. And there are some theories on that. And I'm going to do a video on that, because I've been to Lonsdale's Meadows. Oh, no, sorry. I've been to the Newfoundland. I've been on the eastern side of Newfoundland, not at the actual site. But there was actually a archaeologist who found, there's a female archaeologist who found proof of other Vikings traveling and hunting and living in other places in Canada, and she has been cancelled. And there's quite an interesting story to that. So I think I've been wanting to do something on Canada, and it's coming. Yeah. Comeback visits Högom lots. Comeback, Kid Simlin. Comeback, is that like a YouTube channel? Lots of trade from Trondheim in this part? Yeah, that's true. In Högom, the east of Sweden, far up in the Baltic Sea, you find lots of evidence of trade from Trondheim. And they were actually probably, because the burials are so similar, so it was probably the same clan ruling on both present-day Trondheim, close to Trondheim, Værnes, and in Sweden. So that's kind of cool. All right, I will now... I see on Telegram, there's only you, Hucklebuck, but I hope you can hear me. I guess you can hear me since you're on. So I'm trying out two platforms here at once, and it works, I guess. And I'm going through some of the comments here. I see Autumn Wonders. You were in Sundsvall today, and I'm looking forward to going there. And I want to check out these fortresses, because you got a lot of hill fortresses in Scandinavia, and they're from before the Viking Age, and some are even from the Roman period. And it's because of trade. Well, there are a lot of theories on why these hill forts were. And right here where I'm now, there are actually two really cool hill forts, and I'm going to make a video on that. And that has definitely had something to do with trade, because down through this area where I'm now in Hønefoss, Hønefoss has a big lake where a lot of rivers from the mountains come down from the different valleys, Hallingdal, Valdres, and other valleys. And they had all the iron ores, the iron bogs up there. So the iron would come down the rivers down to this exact point where I'm sitting right now. And they would, of course, have some kind of fortress strategically located to control the trade. And it's a really, really cool place. So I want to also, when I go to Sweden in the Norrland, I want to check that out also. So yeah, let's see here now if I, there are a lot of comments here. Hey, Annie, good to have you on here. Volin, Mike, where is Volin? Please, if you can Tell me more about that. I would love to see that. And I would like to also, let's see, Vidar here. Oh yeah, you're talking back and forth here amongst yourself. Well, that's good, I guess. Örjan, we talked earlier today on in the comments field. Örjan's got this theory, he writes, that the longhouses of the Vikings and also before the Vikings were built, were made to build the long ships inside in protection from the weather. Well, yeah. Well, they did actually carry the ships, not carry, but they would use logs under, and we have many places in Norway where it's quite difficult to. Let me show you here now if I can. I'll try something new here now. I'll go on the map and I'll search for Beitstad. Let's see. And Beitstad is that's a place close to Trondheim. Let me see if I can share my screen here now, and I'll show this to you. Beitstad is a place in the north of Norway, but it's a special place in the Norwegian history that the Vikings knew very well about because of their myths. So let me see now if I can try this. I will try to, regarding what you write here, Örjan, I will share my screen here now, see if this works. I will go straight into this map here. So can you all see this here now? If the map comes on. And I'm trying out a new platform here for the first time. And if it doesn't work, well, there it comes. Great. So you see here, this is Trondheim. I'll zoom a little bit out so you can see Norway there. And there's actually a photo of my son. It must be his cellular phone on. So anyways, the thing is, before the Viking Age, they talked about Norway, that it was actually gathered as a kingdom. This is a myth, right? King Nord, where Norway has the name, the way to Nord. And this king had a brother called Gord. And their sons would compete about the hegemony of Norway. And Nord, he was living on he had most of Norway. But his brother, King Gord, he was a sea king, meaning he lived aboard a ship and traveled all along the coast. So their deal was that they would have all the islands down here along the coast. Those were belonging to Gord, and his sons and his descendants actually end up with Rollo. Imagine that, and many other in this Flatey book. For those of you who know that, you have all the genealogies there. How Norway was built, it's called. You can Google that actually. Well, the thing is, Beite was the son of King Gord, and when they came down here, they would take their ship, which sort of was like a Viking ship, but this is before the Viking Age, and they would roll it on the snow across here, where it's still today called Beitstad. And then they would claim the whole of Fosen, which was a huge area, as an island, because the rule was if they could have the ships on the inside, then they owned all the land on the outside. Now, isn't that kind of a cool story? I think so, and I hope you enjoy them. There's a lot of things like that happened before. So yeah, well, thanks, Mike. Yeah, the map looks great. All right, and Margot and Valheim. Oh yeah, you talked about Valheim, the game. I've actually tried it, and I've considered making a video on it, but I'm not really much of a gamer, and it's my son who's tried it, and he didn't want to try it further on because you have to make everything from the ground up before you get to making good weapons. You need to know how to make iron, for example, or bronze. So yeah, I haven't gotten around to do that, Michael. Could I ask you for one thing now? I would like to hear where people are from. I saw some people are from Texas and New York and Sweden. Volin in Poland. Thanks, Mike. I was wondering about that. Could I? Let's see now. Here we go. Volin is in Poland. Yes. Well, maybe that would be something to check out. And before I'm going to ask my question, there's a question here for me, I guess. Why is the Viking Age began with Lindisfarne? That's a pretty good question, Garrett. The thing is, it didn't. That's the official story. And the story was written by the monks who were attacked at this monastery. And it's actually one particular monk, which was at the court of Charlemagne. And he was a scholar there. He was a teacher there for Charlemagne's sons. And he wanted retaliation because that was his monastery. It was a strategic strike, preemptive warfare, because of how Charlemagne would spread Christianity with the sword. He would have in the city or town of Verden, just south of the then Danish border, he had a war, the Saxon Wars. This was the Franks against the Saxons, and Charlemagne cut off 4,500 heads in one day, and that's a lot of blood. So you can imagine what the people in Scandinavia thought about that. And the king of the Saxons, he survived that onslaught and took refuge with the then present Danish king. So they, of course, knew about this. They started building this defensive. It was sort of like a mound, not a mound, but it was all across Denmark. It's still there today. Danevirke, it's called Danevirke. It's like the same in England also, to protect themselves from the Franks. But that's when they started the preemptive warfare. And Garrett, the Viking Age started before this. And I'm going to make a video. I'm working on that now, actually. So I'm looking forward to that. Let's see. I'm quite new to this platform here I'm using, so I'm going to try to find how to remove comments again, because now, Gareth, I've answered your question, and oh, there we are. And there are so many comments here, and this is great. And let's see, I will just close here now, like this. And I'm really glad you can all follow me now. And I'll leave I think that's a good idea. I'll leave this live chat open for people who haven't gotten a chance to see this. And I'll be a little bit more strategic now and systematic. I see people have written where they're from. That was what I was wondering. And if more people would like to do that, I'd be very grateful, because as I started some 20 minutes ago saying, in 14 months now, I've been doing this YouTube channel. It's quite new to me still, I feel. I'm learning so much every day, and I'm enjoying staying in touch with all of you. And many of the names here, like Mike and Robert and Hillish guy, well, a lot of your names I've come to get this sort of like relationship to. And it's quite enjoyable, but I'd like to see some faces. I'd like to talk with some of you, and I'd like to learn more about you, because it's better if it's two-way. And regarding my channel, I've passed 12,000 subscribers. I think it's enough. You know, I'm when I talked with Tom Roswell at Survive the Drive, he's got what, like 130,000, or Björn Andreas Bull Hansen, his channel, he's got 400,000 plus subscribers. And it's horrible to relate yourself to so many people, because there's this obligation, right? You got to, make more content. And right now with 12,000, it's very manageable. I don't wish for more subscribers. This is great, because it's a little bit personal. It's a little bit sort of like intimate in a sense, though it's digital. And I'm quite happy as it is. I think it would be dreadful to think if I would have 10 times more subscribers. I like this more intimacy, and I hope you do too. I see here there's a Laura, you're from Anglesey. That's really a cool place. And the Vikings, they did try to settle there. I think it was in 902 during the Viking Age, and they moved on to the area of Liverpool, the Wirral, because they weren't able to settle in Anglesey. But that's kind of cool to meet or to see someone here, Laura from Anglesey, Buckinghamshire, Northern Minnesota, California, and AI Einstein. I got to tell you, Two of my great grandfathers, they moved to the US and went to Minnesota, but they returned to Norway because they wanted to go get their women. And my great grandmothers, they refused to go. And they said, we want to stay in Norway. And that's why they stayed in Norway. And my third great grandfather, he wanted to move to Iceland because of fishing. And the same with him also. He had this very, very strong Viking woman, Jörgina. She would always walk barefoot and carrying the food to the people who were digging for turf instead of wood on Sundberg until the power came, as we say. Krafta, when Krafta came. Which means when the electricity came. I think it was rather late there, 1952 or so. Maine, USA, Margot. I wonder where in Maine you're from, because I'll be returning to Maine, I hope, later this year with Peter Stormare for season 3 of American Runestone, or The Secrets of the Viking Stone, as it is called. And we have some exciting plans there, and I hope it'll come through. So that'll be cool to see. So, Margot, please let me know where in Maine you're from. I'd like to know. And the same goes for you, Hasa92. Where in Finland are you from? Because I'm really fond of Finnish people, and I really enjoy it in Finland. I've been to Kuopio on a wedding. And this, I got to tell you got to like Finnish people. I've been yelled at in the saunas because when I was younger, by the way, we went to this fighting event in Turku, Åbo, where it was in the early days of mixed martial arts. We were a big group of Norwegians, and they would yell at me for putting Finlandia vodka in the sauna instead of Smirnoff. They said, no, this is for drinking, only Smirnoff, because that's Swedish. And it's quite funny with Finnish people, because I think they, that's my experience anyway. It's like being on the Faroe Islands. That's the Faroe Islands is on the way from Norway to Iceland. Great group of small islands. I got many friends there. And I think they seem to like Norwegians because they believe that we hate the Danish as much as they do. And that's how we bond. And I have sort of like the same feeling when I'm in Finland and meet Finnish-speaking people. You probably hate the Swedes as much as we do. Now, we don't, but we can pretend if that's a way of bonding, by the way. So I was invited in Kuopio, since we're talking with you, Hasa. I don't know exactly your name, but you're on screen here and you're from Finland. And I was invited to a wedding. I took on my Norwegian traditional costume. And, on Friday afternoon, I arrived in Kuopio. And the first thing, and this is for me, Finnish weddings, the first thing everyone does is to go into the sauna. It's a mixed sauna. Everyone is naked. And we're going to drink vodka together for the whole weekend. So there I am, suddenly sitting with 20, 25 people, I don't know. And we're all naked, and we're getting to know each other in the sauna, and then we start drinking vodka. It was a great weekend. And Mikko in Kuopio, I miss you and your wife very much. And I hope to be back. Cape Town, South Africa. Hey, nice to meet you, Theron. And Moss in Norway, Jostein, Utah, also here, Carson. Stavanger, Levanger. Oh, you live in Levanger, Göran. That's interesting. That's an interesting place you live in, history-wise also, in relation to Högum in Norrland in Sweden, by the way. And Annie, I've been seeing you a lot on my channel. Thanks. Good to see you here. You're from Omaha, Nebraska. And Bruce, where in Germany are you from? I like Germany a lot. I was there actually a year ago, just before COVID-19. And went to the mountain with all the witches, Blocksberg, or Brocken it's called in German, but it's a special place, the name for Norwegians. And I was looking for the Haruders, the Horders, around Bergen. It's called Hordaland. It used to be called Hordaland. And there are theories that the Germanic tribes from this area in Germany went up to Norway and settled in Bergen. Yeah. So British Columbia, Hudson Valley, Oregon, Asker, Kristiansand, and Cinemax in Skåne you live in. And you're from Arizona and North Texas you live in. Trish, Southwest, and Virginia. René, you're from Slovakia. I'm really looking forward to traveling to Slovakia. You know, that's where one of the ancient amber routes went through your country there, René. And there's this mountain pass down towards, I believe, Austria, which is really, really important to control trade. And it seems like from the sources that the Heruls, this Germanic tribe, the Heruls, who settled in the Balkans but had strong relations with Scandinavia, they controlled the trade route through this mountain pass. So I plan to travel to Slovakia to check this out. Yeah, Illinois. Oh, is there a place? Carson, you're from New Zealand. If you're writing Odin, I was just curious to see if there was a place in New Zealand called Odin. That would have been cool. So yeah, we have this we talked about 10 minutes ago. You really think Lindisfarne was a retaliation to the conversion? Well, Ginnunagaba. Oh, sorry, I tried to say Ginnunagaba. Oh, I'm not going to try that once more. Well, the answer to the question is these are hypotheses. This is humaniora. These are different archaeologists and historians with different versions, different theories. If you want to focus just on the Viking Age, like it's been in the 70s and 80s and 90s, mostly, it's that typical depiction. If you want to follow these historians, such as myself, where we try to view the Vikings in other senses and more see them in a larger picture, then it's much better, I think, to follow the more power struggles. And I'm talking power politics in a sense between Charlemagne and his expansion. He wasn't able to expand into Scandinavia. He tried. And in my mind, there's no doubt. But I see other people, like tomorrow, I'll be this moderator at this online debate at the Explorers Club in New York. I've been a member there for several years. They asked me to be a moderator for Neil Price and this other person. They got 2 different books out, and I'll just be one of these moderators talking about this and for the Explorers Club members. And I think, if I remember right, Neil Price, for example, is a much more distinguished historian than myself, and we don't always agree at all on topics. And this is one of those topics that, yeah, I guess in the days of cherry picking for whichever thoughts or idea you want to support, you can cherry pick almost anything today. So it's your choice, basically. But yeah, Margot, you said well said. Jamie, you said well said, Margot. What was that? Hey, everyone, let's give Sturla more thumbs up, please. Oh, thanks, Margot. That's nice. Yeah. So you're talking to, I'm trying to see, well, thanks, Einstein. I'm seeing a lot of comments here now. So now we've been talking for a little bit more than half an hour. I was wanting to talk for, well, as long as we want. But I do have a lot of different questions from these 2 videos where I ask for questions, and it would be nice to answer some of them. And also, if you have questions for me here, I'll try to answer those here and there whenever I can see them in the chat here, such as, can you tell something about the Vikings from Viking? Well, thanks, Woodsman of the North. Pretty cool name, I would say. Sure, I can do that, but I'll try now, not instead of jumping into every question that comes up, I'll try to be a little bit systematic here, so it's easier for you viewers, and especially all of you who would like to see this afterwards. English Shieldwald, oh, thanks a lot. You made a donation. I really didn't know that donations was possible here, so, well, thanks a lot. Were the Goths, Gepids, genetically like Scandinavians? And that's a pretty good question. I believe so, in the sense that all Germanic tribes were genetically similar. But this is also a little bit of a hot topic, and it's also something that we don't know that much about, except there has been some good DNA research done on the Longobards, which is comparable, I'm sure, to the Gepids and the Goths. And if you've seen that video, English Shield Wall, 1997, if you've seen that video I made where I talk about the Germanic tribes, and I try to show how something happened in Scandinavia before the Iron Age, and then during the early Iron Age, long before the Viking Age, you see this first great expansion of peoples out of Scandinavia. And all the Germanic tribes came out of Scandinavia. You can see it linguistically, and you can probably see it genetically. So that's my answer to you for that. Yeah. And Andrew, you're asking, is Bjorn Ironside still at rest in his mound, or was it robbed? Well, most of these mounds were robbed. So I gotta tell you, it must be probably something like that. Yeah. Anyone not on oh, this is a good comment from Kenneth here. Anyone not on Patreon, you're missing out on some excellent content. Well, yeah, before I move on to my main question here, I'm trying to move to the bottom of all the comments here while I'm talking. I realized just a few weeks ago that my situation after this cancelled business before Christmas in November and December, I came out on top there. I felt I stood my ground, and the more I think about it, and now that I have some distance in time from these incidents and these attacks on my person, not on what we were talking about, like Vikings were not from Norway, right? That's one of those things that was why I was cancelled. There were other things also, of course. But I think I came out on top, and for me, it was sort of like jumping a little bit higher up, since I'm now connected on many exciting projects with the Max Planck Institute and Professor Johannes Krause in Germany. These projects, man, they're really cool. I'm going to make a video about that. I shouldn't say too much about it at this moment, but we do have memorandums now and affiliations, and I also am affiliated with the University of Oslo, and I have some really cool projects. We're talking not hundreds, but thousands of skeletons in the Caucasus region, going really far back in time, and so we can trace the early Eastern hunter-gatherers. I'm working a little bit on that also, that I can say. This is all cool, so it has helped me this situation in a very interesting way. But to get everything in the bureaucratic order of earning money, basically, as a scientist, as a researcher, but through the University of Oslo and through these projects, we got to apply for everything. And I've been doing a lot of work on that for the past 2-3 months. And it turns out it's not just to get income from this new job, since as we speak now, it's not a real job. It's just these connections and these projects, and they're going forward. And hopefully I'll get this sorted out in May. But I see it'll take a couple of months, but the income won't come until August. So yeah, Kenneth, this is a comment from me to your comment. I decided that I have to work to, I have to shift focus more towards this YouTube channel to try to make some more content. And even I thought, I got some tips. Why don't you put up some extra content on Patreon? And just this morning, I put up another video there, just a short video, but they are more intimate. There are details from the expedition life that I've been doing before when I was younger. And this video I put out this morning, it's about going into Chechnya in the Caucasus region and meeting two people I didn't know who were, or I wasn't sure of anything. And this was in August 2014 when all the beheadings were happening by ISIS. And we knew that there were Chechen separatists who were involved in that. So it was kind of risky to go in there to search for skeletons. So that I talk about in that video. It's personal, it's intimate. I feel comfortable sharing it with a smaller group, and that's yeah. If you'd like to follow me on Patreon and you don't, you can find more content there also. But it's a way to support me and my channel, and it's gotten more important now than I thought it would. Yeah. So thanks for that, and I'll move on. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, Margot. Good job. Well, thanks a lot. Yeah, that's true, and that's uh, I got to tell you, Margot. I've been in many situations earlier in my life where I felt that if you show power, if you show that you're strong, if you show that you don't take any BS, and this is why I made this shorter video, how to tackle confrontations. If you stand your ground, you earn respect from those people that maybe you thought, if I do this, I will lose everything for sure. But the opposite thing happens. And I've experienced that a few times in my life. If you show courage in a lot of situations, that's appreciated. Maybe not in academia, at universities, I've understood, but in many other places and with many other people. And this is basically what happened, Margot. And I had a tough personal situation also last year. And this was a climax. It came at the same time as I was really putting on this armor. And I thought once I had these personal things, these issues sorted, and then this thing with Eske Willerslev in Copenhagen happened, I thought, well, I still got my armor on. I can take on this, and let me just do it the right way. And I spent 2 months doing that, and it worked. Yeah. So yeah, thanks, Margot. That's a good comment. Let's see here now. Karen, Brenda, Shimel. Oh, there's a lot. This one is good. English Shield Wall. There's a new Anglo-Saxon DNA study coming out by the Max Planck Institute. Yeah, I know. And also this great heathen army, as it was called during the Viking Age, that in the years 860 about, from then on, they started to spend the winter in England. So they didn't care to come back every fall, autumn, back to Scandinavia. And they just became, they just settled more or less as an army. And at Trenton in England, there's a mass grave from, I think, 865 or something, 860. And this is from this army, the Great Heathen Army. There are children there, there are women there, and there's a DNA paper coming on this this year. I thought it was going to come already, and I'm really looking forward to that. So that's going to tell us a lot of things about Vikings. Vidar, I see you are asking me, let's help this channel grow. Yeah, but I think, like Michael say, let's be smart and keep politics on another stream platform. Yeah, I'd like that also. Instead of being political, talking about that, let's just keep it to history here. Is that okay, Vidar? True ancestry. This is a good one also. Hasa, you're 30 minutes behind. I see you there. Well, you can always go back in afterwards. Phosphorus, the 15th. Do you think the website My True Ancestry is reliable? It tells me I share DNA with a lot of Longobard samples they have on there. Well, I'm getting more and more involved in FTDNA, and they have, I think they have 55,000. Y DNA, Y full DNA. The most expensive test you can take, 55,000. So that's valuable. That's going to be even more valuable in the future in terms of figuring out modern DNA compared to ancient DNA. My True Ancestry, I don't know. I see some of you actually who might even be watching here have seen you have sent me results from My True Ancestry, and it says I'm a shield maiden, and then you got this woman from the Vikings TV series, and well, they are using some of the public results, because most DNA results are public knowledge and from papers, and these websites like My True Ancestry is using that. I support it. I think it's a little bit early. We need more DNA tests, but for now it's good. But don't take it too seriously. That's my answer to that. Yeah. All right. Let's see now. Erik. Vidar, Vidar, we can talk about this privately. If you want to send me a personal message, I can tell you my opinion about this, Vidar, since you are talking with a lot of people at the same time here now. So, do I access? Oh yes, Laura, do I access the Exos contact through joining as a member? Yes, you do. You can join as a member on the YouTube channel here, but you can also go on patreon.com and search for Viking Stories there, or I'll put a link down below. Maybe I should be smart and put a link right here now while we're talking about it. So that's a possibility for all of you who'd like to do that, and I would very much recommend it. If you, that's probably the best way if you want to support this channel, and I'm very grateful, because it's a good way to make sure I can continue with this. So I'll put that up there here for you, Laura, so you can see here the Patreon link for the more tight-knit community that I'm trying to create with people who are interested in history and who would like to support. So yeah. And Phosphorus, you're saying you've heard very good things about FTDNA, and yes, I'm actually talking with them not on daily basis, but almost daily basis on different projects. And I think I'm a little bit too early, or maybe not, because for many years the DNA labs, the geneticists working there, have deliberately not worked with these public providers of DNA tests, because it's commercial based, and they feel it's sort of like against the integrity as a scientist. Yes, but we're coming there. I talked actually with Johannes Krause about this also. We don't know when, 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years. There's going to be much more work together, because it's so valuable, especially what FTDNA have at the moment. So yeah, I think I'm sort of a little bit early, but I think the timing is great to start collaborating a little bit in that sense. Yeah, thanks, Diego. That was a cool comment. All right. Human being, before I get down here to, I'm going to ask if any one of you would like to be on here and talk a little bit back and forth. We'll talk for about a minute, and then we can take the next one. That'd be great. So we can have a two-way talk for the last 15 minutes or so of this stream. Sturla, you made a video about where blonde, blue-eyed came from, and how it was two different. There were two different groups coming in. Did the blonde group originally have brown eyes then? Well, they didn't have blue eyes, and I don't think they had green eyes either. So it's hard to say. It doesn't say anything in the scientific paper. It just focuses on which specific genetic what's it called? Well, I don't have it. It's on the tip of my tongue. Well, it looks on specific genes, basically. And what we know is that they had blue eyes, the ones who came from the south into Scandinavia, and those who came from the north had the blonde hair and fair skin. And we know they mixed into one new hybrid sense, if that's a good verb to use. And this is really far back, much before the Bronze Age and before the spread of farming. So these are the Western hunter-gatherers mixing with the Eastern hunter-gatherers into what became the Scandinavian hunter-gatherers. And as I talk about in the Secrets of the Germanic Tribes, that video, I talk about this because it's really crazy to think about in present-day Spain and Portugal, when the Indo-Europeans came from the east down there, 100% of the men, they can't find that one study I pointed there, any trace of any men from before the Indo-Europeans, the arrival of the Indo-Europeans, and 90% of the men disappeared very fast, and it could have been something to do with plague, by the way, on the British Isles, but not in Scandinavia. So something happened there, and that's what we're going to find out. So yeah, I'm sure there's going to come more there. Captain Ori, any updates on Rollo's DNA? Oh man, that's been a long story. Yeah, I think we're getting closer. For the first time in a year or maybe 2 years, we have got some skeleton remains of the closest relatives of Rollo. And I held it not in my hands, but they're in the tubes at the DNA, not the DNA lab, at the new lab at the University of Oslo. And it turns out that, well, first we thought the C14 samples that measure the age, right? Put these two samples of Richard I and Richard II, the grandson and great-grandson of Rollo, to be 2,300 years old, one of them, and the other one was 1,300 about. But it seems like there's something wrong there, because it's done. We've done it one more time, another place in Denmark, and we got a totally different age. So I guess we got to do it a third time now, because one of those two samples could be the actual remains of Richard I, I think, the grandchild of Rollo, and then we'll take DNA. So we'll do it properly now. So that's the latest news, Captain Ori, on that. Michael, I appreciate your words. Patreon is awesome. I think Patreon is kind of cool, actually, and the fireside chats that I have I got so many more stories, actually, crazy stories. People have throughout the years. I met people who have accused me of being a liar. What do you call that in English? A person who lies all the time, like a serial liar or something like that. Just because I have these stories and it's fun to tell them, but it's kind of way out there. Like one of these fireside chats is about meeting a family member, the brother, one of the brothers of Osama bin Laden in the Sahara Desert. That's really a crazy story, but I've shared it. Yeah. So let's see here now. You have to work, Ada Trips. Well, I wish you the best for your work, and take care. So, and Einstein, you talk about the blue-eyed Africans around Morocco that pushed her into the Basque region. If they kept going north, and are you thinking about the Berber tribes now? Because I've been in the Atlas Mountains and I met these people. They lived so isolated that they had 3 hours to drive for the nearest doctor. And they when we were there, they would come with their that's actually the video with bin Laden's brother. I'm talking about this also. They came with their family members who had blonde hair, and this one guy with the golden beard, and they all wanted us to take DNA from them because they really wanted to find out, and we'll see. Yeah. So New Jersey Greaser, a lot of comments here now. Should I report spam here? Trolls, kick the trolls. Well, that's not so difficult to do. So we'll do that. All right. Well, anyway, we'll take out the trolls. Took out the greaser. I did so. Thanks a lot, and it's done. So there's no need for foul language. We don't have a channel for that. We have a channel for having good atmosphere and talk about history, what we all like very much. The Secrets of the Germanic Tribes was great. More deep dives like this. Yeah, I'd like that too. That'd be, I'm planning something like that. So yeah. So, and let's see. Norwegians know how to deal with trolls. Well, we do. And if you haven't seen the Troll movie, you should see it. That's a really funny movie, by the way. So let's see, the Sapmi and the Berber people. Yeah, you were talking about that. It's quite interesting that the Sami people up north in Norway and the Berber tribes, but also the Basque people have a lot of things in common DNA-wise. I think that's kind of cool, Sebastian. Yeah. And Robert, you're saying that Berber sounds rather close to barbarian. Yeah, I personally believe a lot of them, the Berber tribes who have all this blonde hair and they don't know why they don't look like Africans. That's what they told me when I was there in the mountains. And I do believe that they have a lot to do with the Vandals, the Visigothic tribes would push down into Africa, and I'm sure it has to do something that absolutely. So, and then the Scythian Odin theory that Michael asks about. Well, from the Max Planck Institute, in just 1 or 2 weeks, there's a big Scythian paper. I've read it already. It's coming out, published, I think, in Nature. And there it says a lot about the DNA on the Scythians, and I'm going to comment this once the paper is out because it's really, really cool. All right, so funny how Troll Hunter. Yes, Simon, I'm not the Troll movie, the Troll Hunter movie. That's the one I mentioned. It's a pretty funny movie. Yeah. So anyway, Mike, you're enjoying your mead and getting good education. Well, thanks a lot. And Jamie, that's true. Your channel is for like-minded individuals who have a lot love for history, and that's true. That's my intention for this channel, and also to show in what ways that we are related. And I'm, as a historian, I've learned to look at history with new eyes. When I came out of the Norwegian school system, I was thinking everything in so much black and white about the world and how it should work. It was this idealism that really trumped everything in a sense. And as I grew up and learned more about the world, I also learned that the ways I have been looking at time and distance, geography, has been all wrong. And especially my travels to Central Asia and Kazakhstan, especially on the steppes there, that really has opened my eyes in the sense that I feel this strong connection that I've always felt with my past and the roots that we all have, whether we want them or not. If you have, like me, if you're able to open your eyes in the sense that you can see time differently, maybe not even linear, as I tried to say in this time video I put out, then I believe seriously you can feel a stronger connection with you guys, between us guys, but also going back in time. And that's one of the reasons why I make videos on this channel, to try to help people to view history differently. And well, if you can, or if you see it as your advantage, please do so, because I think that's a good way to look at history. But it depends, on where you are in life, or if you have time, or even a surplus of energy to do this, right? If I think, Bruce, that the modern Berbers have also some Vandal DNA, yes, I'm convinced on this, but it's difficult to prove it, especially since they don't wish for us to do DNA of the Berber tribes in Morocco, and I'm a little bit reluctant to go into Algeria in the mountains there to collect DNA, and that's something I talk about in the patrons video I put out on Patreon this morning when I went into Chechnya alone. Yeah, so that's my answer to you. Yeah. Thanks, Annie. I agree with you. It does. And I'm glad you're having a nice chat here. So I'm going to ask you now, before I answer, there's so many questions here, and I love to answer these questions. And I'll continue to do that. And it's nice to, it looks like we're not 250 people, 215 people are watching, and it hasn't gone down, it's just gone up. So I guess we can just continue if that's all right with you. So I'd like to ask you if any one of you would like to share some of your thoughts, or say hi, if you wish, here now. And I've said this in the start here now, and I'll put up this first. I think, well, let me check this, if this one is right. Yeah, I think this is the right article. So if you want to be online here, we can do this now if you wish to just say hi, because it's so tiring to just talk one way, but we are writing two-way here also, so I hope that's enjoyable enough. But I'm going to put out the link here now. If any one of you would like to come aboard with me, share your camera, and we can talk for about a minute or so and just say hi, because this is like a meet and greet, right? Before that, I think there was something. Were you referring to the Scandinavian diaspora in America? Well, yeah. Well, I'm not sure what you talk about there, but maybe or probably. Let me just do this. For any one of you who'd like to come on and say hi, here is a link to do just that. And I'm sure I'll be able to get people aboard now to do that. I haven't done this. I have to be honest. I haven't done this myself, so I'm not exactly sure how. What happens if you press this link? But you should be able to. Oh yeah, here we go. I'm able to talk with some who come up here now, and I see here for my people. You have just entered the waiting room. I have a waiting room. So I'd like to take just to say hi. That would be very nice. And Michael, you're online as well. This is good. This is the way we should be able to talk with each other. And for me personally, it's nice to meet people that I've seen and I sort of feel like I have a relation with. So if you can do this, we'll just say hi real quick, talk about a minute, and then I'll take the next one on. I see more people are coming in here now. So you can just press this link like Lasse has just done, and you can see yourself on the screen, so you see how it is, and I'll take for my people in as we speak at the moment. Hello there.
Hey, how you doing? Really enjoyed the channel.
Oh, this works.
I think
Great.
I heard. Yeah. My channel is called For My People. I do a lot of similar work to you about genetics and ancient history of our people and stuff. I wanted to ask you specifically about. I did my true ancestry, and they said that I was related to one of 65 people related to a Viking ship burial in Iceland, and the individual was Celtic or Gaelic, like Norse Gael. So he had some Norwegian and some, but they don't know who this guy is. So I'd like to know if you know anything about that.
They have a problem on Iceland with a lot of the skeletons are not in so good condition, so they haven't been able to take as much DNA as they would wish. And I think the paper you're talking about is from the northwest of Iceland, because I've read it and I found it quite interesting. And what you should know about it is that there's this really cool paper a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, by this woman who. This was the woman who found out that most present-day Icelanders on Iceland, they have had so many mutations because there have only been so few people, like 50,000, on the same island for 1,000 years. So they have.
Oh wow!
They are more different from the Vikings of the Viking Age than present-day Norwegians and Danes. And so a lot of people got angry with her for saying this. Ebbensdottir is her name. And I think she was also involved in this paper you're talking about. And what you should know, what's your name, by the way?
Oh, Matt. Matthew.
Matt, yeah. I think what you'd find amusing, Matt, is that the percentage of Celtics or people from the British Isles living on Iceland 1,000 years ago was about 50% for women, around 1,000. But 200 years later, it was 25%. So it went really much less down. So if you have...
they were taking Irish women.
Yeah, that's right. That's why you don't find so many beautiful women on the British Isles, because the Vikings would steal them, right? No, that's a joke. But anyway, if you still have that would mean that some of these, it must have been some really nice looking people because of natural selection. If you have Celtic...
The other match
Sorry.
I get. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, go
it's
on,
the
Matt.
delay. I had some matches too to the Greenland party that died off.
Yeah.
That traveled to Greenland as well.
Yeah.
Something to do with the
cool.
people that came Eric the Red. So I don't know anything
cool.
about it. Interested
well,
in
Matt, it's nice. I see there's a line here now in the waiting room, so it was nice to say hi. Yeah. I'll see you around. Okay, take care.
Tuck.
All right, Michael, are you ready?
Hey,
hey, there you are. Where are you living? Not in Paris, I believe. I see the Eiffel Tower in the back there.
No, Georgia, United States.
Oh, how nice. I've been to Georgia a lot, not in the United States, but in the Caucasus. So every time I mention Georgia, people think I'm in the US. Are you? I seem to recognize your name for a long time. Or have you been on this channel for a long time, following?
No, on Patreon, but I was the one telling Vidar to stop the politics.
Oh yeah. Well, it's always nice and better to have a good atmosphere, I think, and we can. I mean, anyone can find different channels to talk about politics and whatever they want. And for me, I think we're living in a period now where it's much better to find the things we agree about, and if you can talk about history in a nice setting, that's pretty good to do at the moment.
I love your work and just want to support you.
Oh, thanks a lot, Michael. Well, it was nice to see you here, and I see a lot of people want to say hi now, so I'm going to go on with Brenda after you. All right, take care. Thanks. Nice to meet you. All right, and Brenda, I can see you there now, so I'll add you to the screen. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Good,
so nice to be able to see people and talk like we're talking now. Where are you at the moment?
I'm up in New York, upstate New York.
Upstate?
It's about an hour and a half from New York City.
So you're passing where they had Woodstock?
I'm a little south of that. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Have you been there before?
I've actually been up there because I know this Norwegian guy. Well, he's Norwegian American, and he has 4 restaurants in New York, 3 on Manhattan and 1 in Brooklyn. And he has this farm called Blenheim Farm, which is about 1.5 hours north of. And I've been to his farm where he has all this organic green stuff that they have in restaurants. Right, it's popular, I guess. So it's really nice up there. And I heard in New York just a few days ago, it was really, really warm, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was great. It was about 60 degrees. Today it's not. It's raining here today, but yesterday it was really nice.
Well, here we're all hoping for colder weather in Norway. I went skiing this morning with a friend of mine here,
nice.
But it wasn't cold enough. But anyway, yeah. Well, I hope you like the channel. I hope it's.
I do. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, and it's nice to say hi and to put a name to. No, sorry, a face to the name, Brenda. So I'm going to go ahead now and take Clifford in here now, and all of you others, if you want to say hi like we're doing now, we'll talk about a minute and just it's great. And if you have questions, please ask.
Okay, great.
Thanks a lot, Brenda.
Let's talk later.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye. So this was kind of nice. Lasse, are you ready? Let's see if we can have your camera here, or maybe not. I can hear you, Lasse. Maybe if you can try to put your camera on, I'll remove you for now, and when I see your face, I'll put you back on. And I think Clifford and then Jamie. So let's see. Hey, Clifford.
Hiya. You all right?
Yeah. Hey, this works well. And you're not from the US, are you?
No, I'm from England.
Yes. Whereabouts in England?
I'm originally from near Manchester, but I now live in Leeds.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, how nice to meet you. I've seen your name several times, and as I said with the last person I talked with here, it's so nice to have a short chat like this. It's special if you have 12,000 followers or more. You get this digital relationship to people you don't know who you are, right? And it's nice to meet.
I love the show. I love the show, and it's just that my name saying Markland, I'm just always intrigued if it has any
of course,
relation to the Vikings. You know, I don't know. I've never looked into my history, but I'm really itching to find out. You know, and these DNA things, I don't know, are they any good or not? You know, what do you think when these you know, these DNA ancestry ones, what you just do and pay for? So I've
have
always
you
been interested.
have you done a test yet?
Not yet, no, but I've always
Oh,
been a bit skeptical. But it's just the
I
name
can
I've got,
understand
because
that.
my
Yeah.
name is located in the Manchester region, and it's not a very common name, you know. But it's, you know,
Yeah.
and I was wondering, should I really look into it really? Because I'm getting to I'm 51 soon, so obviously I want to know more about my history. Oh, that's my dog. Say hello to my dog.
Yeah, hey.
That's Ted.
Well, I'll turn 48 in August. I think that's a horrible age, but I guess if we're still young and still curious on all sorts of things in life, and we learn in life as long as we live, I think that's the best way to endure life and make the best of it, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was nice to meet you, Clifford, face to face like this, and
bye.
Yeah, cheers. And if anyone else, take care. And if anyone else wants to come on, I'll take on Jamie now and say this is just to put the link, and we'll do that. And I see there are more questions also, so we can talk more together.
Hello,
Jamie. Hey.
hello. Can you hear me?
So you're Jamie. Where are you in around now?
Lancaster.
Are you in Wales?
No, Lancaster, England.
Oh, I love the background you have there.
Yep. Because I've got armor, swords, everything.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's good.
I love your channel.
I got a nice two-way. What do you call those axes that have on both sides? We have a good word for in Norway.
I don't know. I've got one now.
Yeah. Well, I got one of those axes, and I use it when I go out to chop wood.
I love your channel because it helps me. I do writing stories, and I'm writing to my Vikings, as you can see.
Yeah,
so
I see that thing. Yeah.
It does help me a lot.
Yeah.
But this is the first time I've ever done this. Like
well, it's great. It's fun to try, and for me, as I said, it's fun to meet people a little bit face to face also. You know, so that's.
And I don't get out much anyway, so I can't at the moment because of the pandemic.
Yeah. So. It's a nice way to meet like we do now during this pandemic. Absolutely. Well, I got to move on now. I see the time here also. So, Jamie, it was nice to meet you.
Thank you.
And
you.
This was nice to do also. So take care and then have a good night.
You too.
All right. So and let's see here now for the comments here now. I see. There are a few more people that have come in now and want to say hi, and like Ricardo there, and I'm going to take you in a minute. And I see a lot of people have been asking questions also. So should we do this now? I'll take a couple of more people in just to say hi in about 3-4 minutes. Ricardo, if you can just wait, I see you there. I just wanted to say hi to Steve and a few other here who are on online here and asking questions here also. So this is a channel for people also who'd like to learn more about history, but also if you have some roots in Scandinavia or are interested in that, maybe we can discuss back and forth and see what is possible. It was only like 2-3 years ago that geneticists said, it's we still have a long way to go if we want to connect different peoples with the DNA research we're doing and stuff. But things have changed so much, especially in the past 5-6 years in our understanding of history. And I believe many history books needs to be rewritten. And this is something that, we have to do. Absolutely. So I see here now, maybe with a perspective on Jutland, considering the area being the Sodermans border. Yeah, I think there's coming out new research now, also like Karsten is writing here now, about Denmark and southern Jutland. I know in I think 1 or 2 years, there'll be some really interesting papers there, also on the Iron Age and Bronze Age. So it's really exciting in the coming 2-3 years also. So absolutely. So I'm just going through the. I can't take all the comments at the moment because there's so many, but that's great. Babyface Nilsson, is Vandal DNA extinct? Well, DNA becomes extinct if there's no more descendants, of course. And I think the Berber tribes of the Atlas Mountains have a lot of Vandal in them. But again, it's difficult to prove because we need to go there and take some modern DNA of these peoples. And in Morocco, they're not that interested in it. Like I mentioned in this Vandal series, in the fireside chat I have on the Patreon page, for those of you who have seen that. And Trish, to be only 48 again. Yeah, well, I'm not even 48, I'm 47, but well, I'll see how it goes this fall. Michael, hello from Wisconsin. Nice to see you, Michael, or hear from you, I mean. So, and Sons of Norway, by the way, Johnny Highwoods, I've been meeting with a lot of people in the organization called Sons of Norway in the US. And yes, I'd love to. That'd be great. I've been in Minnesota. I've been with south of Norway, I think in Seattle, when I was traveling a little bit in the Middle East and towards Washington State and California. And I think that's kind of cool. Yeah. Why isn't Finland considered to be Scandinavia? Robert asks. Well, it depends. If you think about Scandinavia geographically, that's what a lot of people do. Then you have Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. But Finland is certainly part of, and Finnish people especially, Scandinavia in the sense of culture. And also genetically a bit, I think, as many of you know, the Y-DNA haplogroup I1 is at its strongest, not only in Sweden but in Western Finland. This is not, well, it's been so mutual history back and forth. Gotta be honest and say that, but well, it's so intertwined. And when I'm with Finnish people, there's a really strong bond. And it's deep. So I would say Finnish people are Scandinavians. Örjan, you're on, and Ricardo, I'm going to take you in just in a second. I'll just say here now. Kid, if you come to Sundsvall, hör av dig. Say hi. Yes, I will. I will definitely make that a trip. And since there are several people who are subscribers to this channel who are from Sundsvall and Högum, I love to meet people from the north of Sweden. They are just like the mountain people we have in Norway. They stand more firmly on the ground, as we say in Norway. So, and also, when will you be in Maine with Peter Stormager? Margot asks. I don't know. Because of COVID-19, everything is just a little bit strange. Could you make a video about Finland during the Viking Age? Yes, it's rather difficult because it's a little bit of a hot topic. I'll try to do that. Yeah, I'm not going to try to say your name or your nickname there. And let's see here now. Jamie, yeah, I see you here. So let me take in now, please, if I can, Ricardo and then Örjan. And we should finish off in about 10 minutes, if that's okay. So if you have some more questions, please put them in here. If you want to put up this, let's see if I have the link here now. You can press this link here if you want to say hello. I'll do a few more in the waiting room just to say hi. Ricardo, you've been waiting for a bit. Let's see. Can you hear me, Ricardo? Good. I can't hear you, I think. Is your sound on? Really? Well, for some reason, it seems that your mic is off. Let me try and fix that. I'll take in Örjan instead, Ricardo. Örjan, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hey. So yeah, I can hear you. So
okay,
I presume
nice.
you're Norwegian then, I guess, yeah?
Yeah, my name is Örjan, and I'm from Ringarike, or Ringerike, from
the Kingdom of the Ring,
West.
King Ring.
Yeah, west side of Oslo. It's probably easier to say.
And this might astonish you, but I'm actually now in Hønefoss, which is the town in Ringerike, talking now. So it's nice to see you, Ørjan. Are you living close to? Are you close to Hønefoss now? Are we talking on internet just a few kilometers from each other?
I'm actually in Oslo. I'm living here now, so it's only my parents in Hønefoss.
I plan to take a lot of people to this area where I'm at, where you are from, Ringerike, because this place here, I feel it's inspired. It has inspired Tolkien when he wrote Lord of the Rings. There are so many legendary tales, and it turns out this region here was so important, like I've mentioned in early before the Viking Age, because of trade. Because of the trade with iron, especially. So this is a very special area, and I have this travel company that I'd like to take people to show and tell the stories like I do here on this channel, and we have planned a trip to Sicily. Like basically, I'm going to say much of the same as I say in the video I made about Sicily, but also here to Ringerike, because it's a very special place.
Have you been working on the digs? The mounds? I know there is some mounds there by Marka.
They have about 300 mounds just up here. It's called Veien, which means sort of like the road, but it's an ancient name, so it means the place where you did worship. And there are this was an important area even 2,000 years ago, right? And we have the problem here is that most of the graves were burnt, so we're not able to get DNA. But there is a grave up on the other side, where in Haug, which is a place outside here of this town, which is called the place where there are a lot of mounts. That's what it's called, right? Haugsbygda.
Yeah.
And there they have found the one Viking helmet they found in Norway. It's a really beautiful helmet.
Gjermundbu?
In Gjermundbu, that's correct. Yeah. And also in this other mound called Sætrang, it's a double grave, man and a woman. They found pearls from Iran, really beautiful ones. So there was certainly some trade going on here. Well, it's nice to meet a person from Ringerike. That's yeah.
I will also say that I'm actually working on a game. I probably told you earlier. So this is why I actually do this study kind of thing.
Yeah.
To try to make this game with models and some lore that is.
Yeah, we need some lore.
Okay. Yeah.
And you got a lot of lore in this area to take from. But is it like a board game, or is it a digital or?
No, actually, I can just show you. I have some assets here, so I'm actually trying to make some models. So if you here, I'm actually working on some wooden models. Of it's not accurate as of yet, but yeah, it's a starting point. So I make some kind of art and models for this game.
Well, they got some good Viking games out now, and I saw this Norwegian company. They made a really cool Viking game with lots of humor, which is I can't remember what it's called now, but it's a really my son, he loved it. It's crazy. It's in English though, but it's made by Norwegians. Almost
like the Norseman series, or
yeah, almost like it actually. Yeah, and it's really well animated also, I think. So yeah, it's kind of there's a lot of things happening now. Ricardo, he's been waiting now. I'm going to try one more time with Ricardo. If you got your mic working, let's try that. Yeah, and Ørjan, it was nice to see you, and let's stay in touch. All right, take care.
See.
Yeah. Okay, Ricardo. Let's see. Can I hear you now? No, I can't hear you for some reason, but it's worked well with all the others. So I guess it was nice to see you, Ricardo, but that's how it goes. All right, let's stay in touch instead. And that's interesting about Iceland. Yes, I think it's very interesting. Also, so let's do that. And Tim, I see you say hi here, and I'm reading all your messages, so that's it's kind of cool. Double bit axe, I was looking for that. Double bitted. Thanks, Kenneth and Chris. And let's see here now. What a name on that table, I must say. Gjermund. Yeah, I can see, Gjermund, that you think the cool name about the Gjermundbo, since you have the same name yourself as the helmet. Yeah, it's from a farm that's called Gjermundbo, by the way. Valheim. Yeah, well, you know the game. It's not called. Is it called? No, it's not the Valheim game. It's another game. It's called Helheim Hustle. Helheim Hustle, I think it's called, and it's in English, and it's this Viking who doesn't want to fight, but it's great humor in any case. So yeah. So now we're gonna finish up in 5 minutes. If anyone has any more comments, but I see we're still about 200. So we've been the same all along. I'm gonna put in Seramer just because I've seen your name so many times. So I'd like to say hi to you, and maybe we can have a short chat now. Hey, are you outside?
Hey, be greeted. Vær hilset. Yes, I am in Gran Canaria. I'm in Puerto Rico, in Gran Canaria.
Oh, really? I've been there in Gran Canaria. What's your name, by the way? I see Seramer. I've been wondering.
Seramer, yeah, I'm just mine for the time being.
Yeah, right. Well, it's so nice to see you and to say hi. Absolutely.
Do you have time for a brief question?
Sorry, have time for a question? Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to get your opinion on the slogan I heard traveling around Scandinavia around the turn of the last millennia. Vite Christ besegrar Odin. White Christ defeated Odin.
Yeah.
You know, I just think on this Palm Sunday, I don't know, do you have any thoughts you would like to share on that?
Well, you can see it's quite I remember, I guess it wasn't much of a debate really, but they talked a lot about how much Christianity had to do with the Viking Age and why it started. And it's been more there's this writer in Norway, Tore Skeie is his name. He wrote a book 2 years ago called Hvite Krist, White Christ, right?
Yes,
it's really well written. Looks at this, it follows up sort of like on that discourse, and I think it's as I told people here earlier on in this talk, I'm one of those who see religion as a way to spread control in a sense.
Yes,
because the Vikings who settled in Normandy, they first burned the monasteries for a few decades. Yes. Then they learned how to control areas and how to become rich through the monasteries because they were money machines. So then they started building, and boy, did they build the monasteries of Normandy while expanding the territory. So
all the great cathedrals of England are Norman.
Sorry, what?
The greatest cathedrals in England are Norman constructs.
Yeah, absolutely. They're beautiful. And it's amazing they built something like that. So I think
they also became the fiercest crusaders, right?
Yeah. So in that contest, or in that way of looking at it, I think it's because it has been downplayed a little bit that Vikings weren't that afraid of Christianity, for example. But I think Normandy is a key here in understanding this, because once the Normans learned how to control or how to use the church and the monasteries, especially for their own growth in terms of power and money, then things changed a lot. So that's probably a way to understand also how Charlemagne at the start of the Viking Age tried to expand his control also the same way, using the monasteries and using the church, right?
So do you doubt Rollo's sincerity in his conversion? Do you think he remained a pagan, or do you think he found Christ in the end?
Well, you know, his son, it says in the earliest sources we have on Rollo, it says that he had a child, his son, with while on the British Isles with a Christian woman. So maybe a local woman. So I'm sure that, well, he can't have been too negative to Christianity in a sense. But there was a big struggle. There was a sort of like a civil war in the 940s. Remember, he came there in 9/11, right? So in the 940s and the 950s, well, the 940s especially, there was sort of like a civil war where the Rollo family tried to have control over the whole territory. And that's when they started changing everything and learning how to control through Christianity. And this was Richard I, because he was a young child at the time, the grandson of Rollo. And it was with him that everything changed, right? They stopped burning the monasteries and started using them to their advantage. So yeah, that's the way. And now we lost you, so it was nice to meet you. And in any case, let's see here now. Interesting in the game, yeah. I'm checking out through the comments section here now, and I can't find any more questions now, and I haven't even gotten to all the other questions, but we have covered a lot. I would like to, though, let you know that I'm going to talk a little bit more about Rollo on my Patreon channel also. If you saw the link I sent you for all of those who would like to check out the I'll put it up here once more. There we are. There is some extra content on this also. So if you for those of you who are interested in following more on this channel and also supporting me, because that's really handy. It's come in handy, I have to say, for me. So it's possible here to go on Patreon, and I'll put up a story soon also now on Rollo and the experience there I had in Normandy while trying to find his grave, because that's certainly something that has been strange. So thanks for that. Does anyone else have anything more to say? I see MOC Mock hit the like button. Yes, please do. That's nice. And as Jamie is saying here, I agree. It was great chatting with you. We are still 210 people are watching, and that it's only going up now. So it would be nice to continue for a long time onwards now. But I'd like to finish off here now by saying, as Mike is saying, well, we'll see you on Patreon. Thanks, Laura. And as Mike is saying here, Nostrovia, well, skål, cheers. And Annie, thank you. I'm very, very grateful for being able to meet you like here, and it's very, very nice to continue having motivation to create new contents. And as you all say, thanks for posting, and thanks for live stream. Well, be well to you also, Ulfa, and all of you who are writing now. So I'm very, very happy that we had the chance here now to say skål and say hello. And as Vesternes are saying here, we say senere, yeah, we'll see each other. And let's stay in touch. And the same, Trish. I'm grateful to there we are. Having met so many of you who came over from Björn's channel also. Yeah, so thanks a lot. Mike, you're awesome. And so thanks again. And Margot also. And never give up the fight against the trolls. I agree, DC. We should do that, yeah. So thanks a lot. Mange takk. And we'll talk again soon. Let's do so. Have a good one, as Josh is saying here. And thanks for the stream. Good night. And, well,